What's happening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back. My name is Fizz. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the medieval castle build I did for a client, and I also will go over all of the steps and processes that we did with this video. And if you want to check out the showcase, it's on the top right, also in the description down below. This is going to be probably a little bit longer because there's a lot to talk about, and I'm going to just go through my entire creative process for building this. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's just start with that. Alrighty, so I was approached by Complex Gaming. They're going to be setting up a huge cluster server, and this RAG server is going to be their main server. So the main server hub had to be pretty much a magical and pretty epic, in my honest opinion. So the whole challenge was to build it all entirely out of Castles and Keeps mod, and not to use vanilla at all, maybe just for obviously the whole starting stuff, which you'll see in a couple minutes. And that's the biggest challenge right there. And also, every single house you see in this video is completely 100% decored in and out. So there's a lot happening in there. I did have people come on and help from my community to help finish decoring stuff because there was a lot to do. And to be honest, I don't really like decoring that much. I just like building buildings. So it was a really great help from them. But anyways, let's get right into the video of actually the whole entire process because, well, there is a lot to go over. So the first thing is actually making the dimensions of the city and castle. So the plan was to make a city and then also like a castle as the main feature. Now there's a couple ways I could have done this. I could have had the castle in the middle and the city next to it, or I did the city and then the castle off to the side, which I think was better because you could render it. Anyways, I'm making a perfect circle with fence foundations. If you don't know, plenty of people have done this. I don't remember who even made this technique anymore. There's so many different videos out there, but basically it's just fence foundations with pillars, and this is the best circle. This is the easiest circle technique to make circles in ARK Survival, because this is easier to expand on to make different circles bigger. And I soon realized that I'm going to probably need to switch this all to foundation. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is just I'm actually going to just destroy all this and bring foundation stuff and everything down. So that way it's a lot easier, because I want this as close to the ground as possible. So see, I have ceilings out, then some stairs, and then foundations, because stairs and foundations, you can attach ceilings and foundations to the bottoms of stairs. This is probably one of the best things I've ever added. But anyways, right now I'm just trying to get a rough idea of how big the circle is going to be. Originally it was going to be, I believe, like 20 out, but I think it's 82 blocks out each way, so you can do the math on that. It's a huge, and I mean huge, circle. But anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making every, I think it's every 5 to 10 blocks out, I'm gonna do like a corner out right there. So I think that's 10 right here, right? Yeah, this is 10 right here, so that way I know how big we're making it. So there you go, there's the final size. I think actually it gets a little bit bigger, but that's pretty decent size right there for how actually big it's gonna be. Alright, so the next step is to develop a style. So we're going to start with kind of one of the gate entrance ways, and with Castles and Keeps, I'm not entirely familiar with all the different pieces and the different snap points and everything, so this is going to be kind of the experimental phase, you would say. Also in Castles and Keep, each one of these blocks, so these walls and everything, you can change them to be like a dark brick kind of stone for like a lava area, and then you also have like the sandstone area, right? Obviously this works way better in the plains of Rag right here near Green Orbital, so this is perfect. But yeah, anyways, just going through it right now, trying to figure out how tall, how big this all needs. I actually do need a creature for scale, so I'm gonna spawn in one in right now, because I don't actually know. It's a little weird because these walls feel bigger than what they are, but they're relatively the same size as vanilla ARK wall pieces. But yeah, there we go. We have our height that we're gonna do. Most people are relatively gonna not go through the gates, right? They're gonna fly over and stuff. So the gates are more of a demonstration of entrance way, right? To just give a flow to the city. Nowadays, most servers use soul balls as well, so easy to, you know, cryopod and uncryopod your creatures. But anyways, now we're kind of working our way down on the walls ish, trying to see how high we need the walls to be. We need the walls to be a little bit high, maybe like I think it's right around like 4 walls high right now, because we just want to make sure we can keep like Rexes and stuff, because Rexes do spawn out here. So we want to make sure on that, and then we're now just gonna keep building up on the structure. Alrighty, next is to get these battlements. I think that's what they're called. Anyways, I will have to say these are well and truly well detailed, very good. They have a lot of different shapes, and they can break up a wall very easily. As of right now, the castle wall is relatively short. I will be making it, I believe, 2 walls higher than what it is now, but for right now, this is just kind of getting the layout of it. And also, by the way, all the buildings, like I've said earlier, are decored, right? Including the castle walls, so you can actually run and walk through all the walls if you wanted to, and there's going to be little gates at the bottom and stuff, and they all connect, all at the top and all at the bottom, so it's pretty cool. We didn't add any like ballistas or like war machines, because it's like we kind of pictured this as a castle of peace, right? So, you know, there's no war or anything, and to be honest, if there was like a creature attacking, they would probably go out, you know, with whatever horses and stuff and destroy whatever's attacking. But anyways, we start working on making this a little bit taller. We're gonna add some different techniques, so I don't know what those are called, but those are, we have little things sticking out now in the front and the back just to give it some more dimension. We're gonna work on making some staircase going up to the top, like I was just talking about. I can't figure out which staircase I'm looking for because I'm having a brain fart for some reason. I was trying to use spiral staircases, but you know how spirals are in ARK Survival Evolved. They're absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. They don't work at all. I don't know why I tried to use them, but anyways, yeah, we just keep building up this tower, and we're gonna cap it off, and we're also gonna add some windows in the front and back, just to give some, you know, sniping point of view, as if people wanted to reenact something, you know, attacking the gate or whatever. Alright, so next after that is to start working on the walls. I do like how Castles Keep Us has 2x3 walls points, because in the back of my mind, right, ARK Survival Evolved is a very interesting and unoptimized game. It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but for building aspect, the more you add to a build area, the more it lags. So think of like your render distance as like chunks, like in Minecraft. The more that you render in that one chunk area, the more it lags. Now, obviously, they have optimized it quite a bit in the last couple of years, but it's still not that great. And to be honest, building just a small, you know, base is relatively all ARK can really handle. As soon as you get to stuff like this, it gets really bad, and to the point where I'm at the end of this video, there will be no more recordings because OBS can't handle recording this and trying to build. So then I'll have to show you guys in game. But anyways, we're getting to the wall. I'm liking the height. The height is looking good. I might make it one more taller, but with the foundation adding an extra wall height, it's looking really good. But yeah, that's kind of it right now. We're just building out the wall and making it look like it's smooth. I do have to figure out how to connect the tops area right there. Yeah, see, I have to redo the stairs and everything. There's a lot of going back and forth because obviously I'm not 100% familiar with this mod. You know, I don't use it 24 hours a day, right? So there's a lot of learning experience right here, trying to figure out how to make things look good and how to make things look more natural than what they should be, you know. And that's looking really good. That wall is looking really good right now. Alrighty, so here are those windows I was talking about. We're at one of the nether towers. We're getting there. There's a lot to build. Don't get me wrong, and we still have to plan out the town. There's so much to do in this process. Also, I want to say this as well. During the building of this, I did have to do the trailer for Lost Island. Now, there's not a problem. I just had to take a couple weeks because basically how it works is I have to go to a different branch of ARK Survival Evolved that has the newest build on it, like the Lost Island, and I had to film there. And this is done on their server, so I couldn't have just done it on the single player. This was on their server that I had to build on. So there is, don't worry, I'll tell you when I take that break. I actually don't remember, actually. I'm gonna be real. It's I have no idea. But anyways, we're getting there. We're getting some towers done. It's looking really good. I think we're gonna fast forward now because I think you guys understand how the walls and everything were built, and let's get into some other things that I was building. All right, so at this point, I believe that most of the wall of the city is relatively done. Now I'm trying to figure out a way to basically where the castle is going to be. Originally, I thought the castle was going to be, like I said in the intro, was going to be attached to the main city, but then I realized how big this city was going to be, and I was like, render distance. So how I did it is basically I tried to find an area where if you load in the castle itself, you don't load most of the city and vice versa. There is a point where you would load both the city and the castle at the same time, and that would cause some lag for some people, but obviously that's kind of the risk you're gonna have to take with this kind of build. I could have made the castle really further away, but I feel like the castle needed to be close and attached to the city in some way to represent the city as a whole, you know what I mean? And it does look really good, and I'm very happy that Castle and Keep is relatively optimized when you're not building with it, that you can indeed render it. I did have people test it later down the road with shitty computers, and they were able to come and play and look around and stuff, so that's really nice. Next up, what I'm doing is we're making kind of the walkway towards the castle. I have a rough idea where I want the castle to be. I'm just trying to make sure everything kind of lines up and everything. I do need to make a small little walkway underneath because I would like to make sure people can go 360 around the castle if they're on ground, because I don't want to block off anyone going around the castle. The problem is, making kind of a archway entranceway over here is a little bit tight for, like, Gigas, even Rexes and stuff. There is also like modded dinos in the server. I'll be real, I don't even know what the dinos are. There's so many dino mods in this server, so yeah, there's a lot. But yeah, so we're just gonna make a little archway here, and bada bing bada boom, and yeah, we're just gonna move on. Alrighty, so now we're basically gonna start laying out all the different houses, and usually what I try to do is kind of place roughly the size of the different buildings and like kind of the layout. I want to make sure that each of the gates entranceway is kind of a fake street. Obviously there's no way to make like streets and everything in ARK because there's no pathing and stuff like that, but basically I'm gonna try and do that, have some interesting buildings overlapping the streets, buildings that kind of not stray and everything. I didn't want to make it like I could basically make it all super straight and everything, right? But I don't like that. I like to make it kind of little chaos, and some houses were built here first, some houses weren't, and kind of move on. But basically that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of using the outline from the original circle that we got, and basically attaching buildings to kind of represent the way that they should going with the circle, so it kind of flows around in a kind of big circle, because it's a big giant circle. It's a big giant circle. It's a really big circle. But anyways, we're just doing that, placing out all the different buildings and everything, and yeah. After that, I started working on the layout of the keep. So the keep is also inside the castle. I kind of wanted to make it symmetrical, so it takes up kind of a different corner of the pie, you would say, of the castle, because I kind of divided the whole castle city into different quadrants. So there's going to be like, the center area is going to be the shop district. There's going to be this area, which is going to be what I even say, I just lost my train of thought, but you know what I mean, is the where all the troops and guards are going to be. And then we have the poor district, and then we have just living quarters, and then we also have constructed houses. I wanted to make a couple houses that were under construction, so that way it doesn't feel like, it feels like it's a living city, But anyways, yeah, we're pretty much almost there. Got a couple more buildings to lay out. I also wanted to attach multiple buildings together, kind of like they were built together in one unit, but then they got separated. Just different building styles. There's a lot. I mean, I think we might have like 60 different buildings in this build alone. So each house has to try and feel unique and different from each other. And yeah, there you go. There's the whole layout. Looks pretty good. Next, we actually start building the barracks. That's the word, the barracks. I couldn't remember what the original name was. Anyways, we have the barracks being built. Barracks are going to be kind of simple. There's going to be a area for them to live in, and then there's also going to be kind of like a planning room. I don't believe I showed the planning room in the official trailer, so I guess I'll show it to you guys at the end of this, because that's at the end of this whole narrating of this. We'll spend 10 minutes kind of walking around and showcasing the rest. It's probably going to be laggy as hell, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so the barracks are going to have three buildings. There's going to be the living quarters, and there's going to be somewhat living quarters. It's going to be a planning room, and then the other one is going to be the stables. There's going to be stables for horses that can be put there. Next, we're going to be moving on to obviously the building itself, and when we do this, I'll talk about it real quick. So I know people are probably going to ask like material lists and everything. I'll be real, if you're gonna try and rebuild this for your server, have fun. This build took around, I believe, like 300 plus hours to do from start to finish. And I may, if people really want, if you've been watching for 15 minutes, I could do a 10-minute video explaining how to start this process, how to make this more in depth, but I don't really see the point at the moment, because I mean, I just made if you're watching the video, you already know how long it's already, you know, how everything is gone, because you're seeing exactly how everything is being built, right? So, but it is what it is. If people want help starting this kind of build, feel free. I could make another video, but we'll see on that. But anyways, I'm trying to make this kind of entranceway for the barracks to be a little bit nicer. We're adding some railings. I believe I changed the final version, because it's gonna be 2 floors and everything. But right now, mostly a lot of stuff is being blocked out. So usually what I try to do is I try to block out the base building first, and then come back to it later from decoring into better details, right? So right now I'm like, I kind of want a window. I don't really know what kind of window I want. I'm looking at these, I'm like, that looks kind of boring, you know, it's kind of flat. I want to try and break up this wall, but yeah, I try to block out the buildings first. I do this with all my builds. I try to build out everything first, and then I can come back and do more details later, so that way I can keep the building process moving forward. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes some builds are, well, they take a couple minutes to get right, you know. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not 100%, you know, familiar with everything on castles and keep. But yeah, it's looking good, looking pretty good. Trying to break up some of this this blank wall. That's the other thing I've noticed with castles and keep. It's a lot of it's a lot of straight edges, because it feels like the pieces just feel so big. They feel so much bigger than ARK's ones, right? And like, I'm so used to being able to break up how ARK displays stuff together, so that way it's a little bit easier. But anyways, we're making another entranceway here. This is going to be the planning room, and also more barracks and everything. And yeah, and also to the right of this right here, I don't know if I showed this, but it's going to be a small blacksmith for, you know, for the barracks people to be able to forge anything if they really need it. Alrighty, so moving right along, there's quite a bit of buildings, right? There's quite a bit of buildings in this entire build, right? So I think now I'm just kind of cutting in and out of different builds. There's like some sort of like alpha creature, delete it, come back, and start building back up again. So yeah, basically this is one of the, I believe this is one of the tallest buildings, one of the biggest buildings in the town. It's a city. I don't know why I keep trying to call it a town. And basically the idea for this was to have multiple different living areas, quarters up top, and also in the tower areas and stuff. Obviously, I'm not even going over like any concept pictures or anything. I'm just kind of making this up as I go for the majority of the build, right? Is like, I have an idea for the building and I'm just building it. Like, I'm not looking up anything. Sometimes I do, right? But in this case, I really wanted to make this kind of unique and just make it whatever, you know. And I am truly very happy with the build. I'll be real, it was a lot of work, but you know, it's pretty cool. But anyways, this building is like kind of an apartment building, like I was saying. There's multiple different rooms and different living quarters area, and then in the middle is like kind of like a small little shopping area. I don't think in the trailer you guys saw that. There's just so much stuff to showcase and everything in this build. It's crazy. But yeah, this is one of the biggest buildings. and let's go on to the next one. Now I'm working right now on trying to cut back on the center circle. So if you remember, I used the tech stuff to bring out the circle so I could make a perfect circle for the walls, and then also lay out kind of the roads and everything. Right now I'm just trying to clean it up, bring it more in. At this point I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do for the middle. I knew I wanted to do kind of maybe like a water fountain, and at this point I didn't actually know that Eco has one of the mods, a couple mods in the server that we use, has a humongous water fountain. I think it's gardens, I think. I didn't know it had that, so I was still trying to figure out what I was gonna add in the middle, because like I could add anything. I was tempted to make my own custom waterfall feature, but luckily I found that, which honestly it fit pretty well with the perfect circle in the middle. But anyways, I'm just trying to clean this up, like I said, clean it up, get the rest of these kind of buildings placed down and everything. It's a lot of work, but you could see when I was talking about earlier where I went out with the ceilings, right? And then I brought it down with the stairs, and then I attached foundation to this. It's actually a really cool trick that Wildcard implemented, that you can snap foundations to stairs. It really makes a really good thing. Now I'm just flying around, kind of like trying to think in my head. I'm trying to picture what each building is going to look like, and like trying to picture like where the doors are going to be. What is this building's purpose, right? Because like obviously you can make a town that just has 100 buildings in it, but what is the purpose of each building? You know what I mean? So I start blocking off some stuff right here. Like I think this is where I start. Is this like the first building I'm actually starting to build? Yeah, this is like the first official building, I think, right? Yeah, I made the big one, right? But this is like the first official like one, and I believe this one got turned into the bakery, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I built a couple other buildings over there. Yeah, I forgot about that. Alrighty, next area that I need to complete and finish. We kind of split up. So like I said, there's a lot of footage that got cut, or I didn't record any of it. But anyways, I realized at this point that I needed a poor district, and I didn't notice that there was these villager starter settlers, whatever these are called, foundations and walls. Like there's a whole tier for that, and I didn't know that until I looked at the anagrams more. But anyway, so I started making a entire district for poor people, right? And you know, I tried to make them pretty shit. You see them in the trailer. There's not really much to say. I mean, this literally took me like an hour just to do this whole entire district, and then it was another hour just to decor everything. It's relatively small, so but yeah, it's the poor district. I just want to put it in there because we're almost to the point where it's time to get to the castle. The castle will be the rest of the video. Yeah. Alright, before we get to the castle, I just wanted to show this real quick. Basically, after doing most of the base builds of like the buildings, like how they're gonna look and everything, I wanted to start going through each build and making sure all the walls are done, make sure they have windows and doors and pillars. I wanted to add pillars to each of the corners of each building to just represent more detail to the build. I know there's also some other stuff like adding stairs, adding just anything that resembles more detail that the build needs, right? And hell, even changing some buildings up that don't really fit. I did that a couple of places here and there. But for the majority, I just wanted to make this all filled out. And I was honestly, at this point, I was dreading to get into the castle, because the castle is going to be a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I don't know what, I haven't even got to the footage yet because I don't remember recording too much of the castle, because at that point trying to build in this area was a nightmare because it was so laggy with OBS. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the castle now, and we'll see what happens. I don't even know what I'm gonna be talking about, so let's go. Alrighty, so I did a little bit of building in the beginning, obviously, the staircase going up, and now I'm trying to finish where the end will be, which will be the start of the castle build, right? So I'm just doing this real quick, trying to ease it out, make it look a little bit better. It was kind of worrying, that big chunk of land that the castle sit on. I was a little nervous that it'd be too high, but it worked out, making the castle definitely a lot taller than I imagined it was going to be. Originally, it wasn't going to be that tall. Originally, it wasn't going to be this big, but I got really inspired to do kind of a what is it called, like a church kind of style castle, right? Obviously I'm not very, I know what it is, but I'm not familiar with the name of it. But what is it, Notre Dame, right? That church, the arching stuff on the sides to hold the whole roof up and hold the building together. I kind of wanted to do that. I've never done that before, right? And I figured it would be such a cool thing to do, but to try and get to that point, it was kind of a little bit uneasy. And right here, I'm trying to figure out what the stairs are going to look like, and I'm like, you know, I'll just add 2 more pillars to the side. I think this will look better. But yeah, you know, just pacing myself, trying to build it up. It's kind of like building blocks, you know, you start from the bottom and you go up, and then I start working on door stuff. Now, I was originally playing around with this, but I didn't like the way how it looks at the top. It looks really weird, in my honest opinion. So what I do is I think they're called gate posts or something. They're like behemoth gates without all the ugliness. And I think that's what I switch it to. I don't honestly know what's even called, but basically I was playing around with that and I switched them because these look terrible. All right, skipping ahead, obviously I go back to these gates. I haven't really decided on the official like entranceway right now. So right now this is going to be our placement holder for our gates and stuff, but I'm working on trying to make the entrance grand. Now, as you know, if you watch the trailer, right, and the video, right, obviously you know that these areas are more they're more out, right? And I think I don't even know if it's even in the video. I don't know if I recorded all this. See, all this stuff is really like confusing, right? Because during this time right now, right, so from the finishing of the city, right, so I finished the city within like a week or so, right? But then I had to do the recording with Wildcard, so I'm trying to remember what happened, because I went back and forth, and then Lost Isle came back and forth, right, for free time and not being able. Listen, when it's just so busy. But anyways, the entranceway is getting there, right? I'm not liking it. It looks terrible. I'm breaking it down. I'm like, man, this wall is so damn flat. I'm having a hard time. I'm having like a creative block, you would say, right now. This is where I need to like kind of experiment on like how it's, because I want to use these windows, right? But I haven't figured out a way to use it yet, so I'm just gonna skip that and start working on foundation layout for the inside of the castle, because this castle is gonna be massive and we need a lot of foundations. And well, boom, there it is. We skip ahead like months at this point. I believe it's been a month since the last time I actually recorded or anything. Like I said, it was really hard to remember recording and stuff, and also all this kind of stuff because of just everything happening. But anyways, I got the base of the entranceway settled to what you see now, and then I also worked on pillars and all this other stuff, right? And this is looking really good, so I'm trying to get like kind of a nice shape for the supporting beams. Obviously, I'm trying to represent, you know, kind of cathedral kind of style for this building, right? And I think it looks really good. In my honest opinion, it makes the building it flows with the building. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways you can do castles, and I did want to bring back the way that the Jeroboam Kingdom castle was built, and that's kind of how this style is. Now, probably if I ever build another castle, which obviously I probably will in the future, it will be a lot different from this kind of castle style, because I think I've done this quite a bit now, where there's a grand entrance and there's like, you know, big pillars and everything, but I would want to change it. So like in the Jeroboam Kingdom video, if you haven't seen it, top right, you can check, or in the description, I don't know, you can find it somewhere on my channel. It's one of the first biggest builds on Scorched Earth, right? And it was a tremendous, awesome looking castle, right? And it has also like kind of an entranceway where you have a bunch of like, I don't know what it's even called, like a bunch of, it's a circle awning area, Ah, man, I'm so bad at explaining anything. This is why I don't do this. But you know what I'm saying. The difference between both these castles is that that castle had a different entranceway field. This one has a more of a grand entranceway field. And like I said, the Jeroboam Kingdom felt like more of a wartime kind of castle. This is a more peaceful castle, right? This has been, you know, made with love and care and peace, right? It hasn't been made with war, you know what I mean? Right here, I'm trying to figure out how to do the windows, and I was trying to see if I can overlap windows, but it doesn't really work. I was trying to see if I can make like the windows taller and longer, but it doesn't really look good when you stack windows together, so I just decided to make them, you know, just one size fits all, you know what I mean? And there we go, we skip again, and I did a perfect circle once again. Now here's a little trick I did. So instead of making it on the ground per se, I spawned in I summoned, you would say, I summoned a tree platform, and I built on top of that, so you can see that. And I can delete that later when I get the supporting areas done, so that way it doesn't like fall over without supports and everything, right? It's a little scary, it's a little sketchy, but I make it work. And to be honest, I'm surprised how well it worked. If I were to change something right now, so at this point I would go back and complete the circle. So as you can tell right now, it's kind of a half circle connecting to the rectangle with the rest of the base build. I would have combined the circle to make it a full circle, so that way I could have extended this circle up more, because I had to do more hexagon shapes instead of circles to combine it up. And I also probably would have changed some of the towers to be circles as well, just so that it just adds more circle stuff. But obviously I didn't want to spend too much time on this, and to be honest, it still looks really good. But I really wanted this end piece to be circled because it would just add so much more detail, in my honest opinion. But I'm very happy with it still, nonetheless. But anyways, we continue building. It's looking good. It's looking pretty damn good, and it's time to actually get this this back part done. So like I said, I was doing the circle, and now we need to add support. So the hardest part right now is to try and make sure that this perfect circle doesn't flop over without support. So right now I'm going to try and make it so that it connects to the base ground, so that way it doesn't well, it doesn't flow. And then I realized I can actually make the castles and keeps foundations float, and I had no idea if this was going to work. I was betting it was going to work to add support when I removed the what is it called, the tree platform. Now I don't really even have to remove the tree platform, but I wanted to remove it because at I don't even think I showed this, but this castle actually has a humongous maze underneath the castle. It's for the server people to go, and he can use simple spawners to add loot crates and stuff, and it's kind of something extra. It only took me an hour to make anyway, so it wasn't too bad. But anyways, right now I'm trying to make sure it's gonna stay up and supportive. I'm gonna connect everything down to the ground and just double check to make sure it's all being supportive right now, so that way when I remove that, not everything falls down. Now the scary thing is obviously I didn't know if this was gonna work still, but obviously I'm very confident at this point that it's actually gonna work, and bada bing bada boom, it does. Now it's time to kind of flesh out most of this build, and I believe this is the actual kind of last clip I have of this entire build. I might have one more, I have to take a look, but basically we're kind of just building out the sides, building everything here. I have a little problem right here where these two intersection walls, you can tell they're not lining up properly. Base game ARK, it wouldn't have been a problem, and here it's not a problem because basically the texturing of the walls continue over and stuff. But as you can tell, this is pretty good. So this is the throne room, and this is where the kings are going to be held, kings and queens. I believe there's two owners, and that's why we have the two thrones. I think it was one of the eco mods again that uses the thrones. I'll be real, I don't remember which mod it was again, but anyways, we're just building it out and everything. And there was a problem. If you see like how it looks right now, there's like a big opening area where that is. What I did is I actually built down by like a centimeter, and the reason why I did that is it looks more smoothed out, the flooring. because of that. And also, if you saw in the final trailer, I don't know if that's it, we'll be showing it in this, but where the actual thrones are themselves, I added stone that was painted orange because their server color is orange. And behold, it's pretty nice that well, Castle Keep has orange roof, so everything worked out pretty good. But as you can tell, the build is looking really good at this point. I was actually really happy. The one thing I wasn't happy about is I was gonna have to make the pillar system from the outside on the other side, and I didn't really do much yet on the other side. So yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to do that. All right, so here, this is where I was talking about. This is where I'm gonna try and start making the stone and also all these little pie crust areas to be lowered. I'm trying out some different things right now. I haven't figured it out yet that I'm going to just basically use the stone Castle and Keep stone ceilings, but just drop it down by an inch. And how I do that is I use the front area, what is it, snap points, and I bring it over to do that. I also am trying to decide right now also if I want to bring up the middle areas of the pie, so that way we can have more of a different, like, kind of, you know, so it's not all the same level. I wanted to make sure the grand area for the castle throne room was, you know, grand. I'm also trying to experiment for windows. I didn't figure out what I was going to do for the windows yet. I was kind of just using these for placeholder, because I'll be real, I wish there was a couple better windows. There is some interesting windows in this mod, but they're just not what I was looking for. I don't know. I also wish there was more like stained glass windows. I feel like that's what this mod's missing, is like stained glass windows. I know there was one of the eco mods we have has stained glass, but it just didn't look right when you add so many. Like, it looks pretty good when you add a couple of them, but all like too many, it didn't look that right. Maybe that's why this mod doesn't have any. Anyways, we're continuing. We're coming back over here. We're trying to fix this area now, trying to see what I'm trying to lay out. And see right here, this is where I'm going to start expanding these foundations, these ceilings out, and it just flows. Look how smooth and look how nice this looks. It looks 10 times better than what I was going to originally do. But like, again, I am going to be where the two thrones are going to be, is that's where it's gonna be up higher, and also use stone so I can paint it orange. You can tell a second ago that a little bit of that is also sticking out. Don't worry, that's why we added towers. I was gonna add towers anyways, because the black wall is pretty boring. And if I could, I would have added another layer down from the castle in the back, so that way it kind of just has a little bit more of a gradual thing. But like I said, there was just too many building blocks at this point for this build it was so hard. Like right now it's not bad. You can't tell right now. I'm getting around 60 FPS, you know, 40 to 60 placing all this stuff down, so it's not bad now. But let me tell you, it gets really bad really quickly when we start building up. And you got to remember, the decor stuff is also happening at the same time in the town, so it's just a mix of things. I think the total amount of building blocks in this is over I think it's over 100,000. I'm gonna be real, and that's including every decor thing, or not 100,000. What am I saying? It's a, well, actually, I had to make him raise it. I don't know how much he made it, but anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right, I don't know what the exact number is because I can't. Well, I can't see the server settings and everything, so I wouldn't be able to know how many building blocks are in this, but it's definitely the most I've ever placed in one area, so this is definitely a, this is definitely big. But yeah, anyways, now we're going through here. We're building up the pillar area and the entranceway to the throne room itself. I wanted to give like kind of an archway kind of system right here, and that little wall is just temporary right now. I'm trying to figure out how that's gonna look when you like walk in, and how these are all gonna be connected. I wanted it to feel just feel very grand, you know. I wanted to feel like, you know, you are entering a area of power, you know, when you enter the throne room. And I think I really did justice for the roof and also the pillars coming in. And yeah, I think my favorite part of the castle honestly has to be the roof, because the roof is a combined it combines the triangle, or the rectangle, sorry, the rectangle from the main build with the circle build at the back, and it was actually very hard to combine them, because one, the circle build's roof, to make it look good, was a completely different size versus the rectangle one, right? And they're different even heights too, and there was no way to like it was like a half an inch or something. It was really weird. It just didn't look right when I was doing it. I don't think you'll even see this in the video because I don't think I recorded any of that. This is, like I said, this is basically the last part of the videos because at this point, after this, I was busy with filming with Wildcard, and then also the Lost Isle videos, and then also just everything else. There was just so much happening at this point. And yeah, but anyways, we're continuing with the pillars. We're gonna extend these out right here. I wanted to add a little bit more thickness so that way kind of more of a cooler grand. Also, it kind of makes it look really cool. I'm not gonna lie, that entranceway looks really baller. I'm not gonna lie, I really like it, and I'm going back and forth just to see if I like that or not. And I'm like, yeah, I like this. We're gonna try and do some more walls. What am I doing now? Oh, we're doing some more pillar stuff. Oh yeah, I didn't finish doing this yet. And yeah, I still haven't done that right side. I haven't done that right side. One so bit. Yeah, see, like it's just a complete drop. Yeah, so it's looking really good. We're gonna move on. This is the officially final last bit of the clip. So right now we're working on the top half right here. And this is probably like an hour's of work, gonna be cut into 10 minutes, but basically I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna join the roof together into to make sure it flows a lot better. And I was thinking we can use a lot of medieval kind of I don't know what you would even call them, but battlements, I guess they would be probably called. Anyways, we're trying to get that. I'm also running into problems where some things are different heights and everything. I guess the good thing about the Castle and Key mod is that there's different heights of walls and everything. So like, there you go, there's one right there, and basically I'm just using it to try and figure out how to fill this big gap here right here because it looks a little bit bad. I'm trying to make it look smooth and everything, make it look, work and everything. I don't know, it's kind of cool and interesting, but yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out right now. But I guess I really wish there is nothing. I don't have the clip of finishing the rest of the castle. So I guess I could quickly talk about that. So the castle roof, circular roof, is basically just bringing the rest of the circle bit that you see right there at the end where the throne room is, and just bring it up a couple more with walls, and then slanting it with the roof pieces with the castle keep, and then bringing it in even more so that way it all combines into one little circular loop in the back area, and then it adds a half circle and stuff. So anyways, let's now jump into game real quick, and I can just show you guys real quick a bunch of different things. We'll start with the castle since we're pretty fresh on that, and then we'll wrap this video up after we do a little bit of the town stuff, because I don't think I showed, no, there's no footage about the church, so I would like to show you guys the church a little bit. But anyways, let's get right into that. Let's finish this video up. Alrighty, so just like I said, if OBS starts lagging at any point, it's just not my fault. But it seems like if I'm not building, it looks like it's perfectly fine. But as you can tell, we have a little bit of the castle rendered in over there, and then we have mostly the town. Now I wanted to quickly go through the town real quick. So obviously we have the poor district here, then we have kind of like the shopping district right here, which is in the middle area. And it's also a couple houses that go back a little bit here, down the street. Then we have the, oh my goodness, why can I never remember what this name is? The armory area, and also where the barracks. Thank you, that's what it's called, the barracks. Like, man, I don't know why I can't remember barracks. But anyways, here's the barracks. And then we have this house. Personally, this would be like the one house I would redo. I would have made it like a little bit different, but it is what it is in the final product. So it looks fine, it works fine. And Puma is now trying to come up onto my computer. If you don't know, that's my cat. And then we have a lot of different houses, and then we have a new construction area. And I don't even think in the video these two houses are even shown. Well, here you go. pretty simple little house. They're fully decorated, and remember, every single house in this village is 100% decorated. 100% decorated and has little stuff. Some houses have more, some houses have less, just to represent, you know, the difference between, you know, poor and stuff. And this isn't like full medieval, like it's a fantasy medieval, right? This is a fantasy game. So not everything, there's like working water and stuff because there's eco mods. But anyways, let's get to the cathedral. So I wanted to talk about this. So over here in the original building of the town, this actually wasn't even planned. This whole area was gonna have a bunch of different houses and stuff, but I figured the town looked great at that point, but I was like, man, we're missing like a church. And the castle obviously does look like a church, right? But I was like, they need like a kind of small church, and I wanted to make it very simple. So this is probably the only building I actually Google image, and I was looking for medieval simple church, and literally it was just like a square rectangle that looked exactly like this with a bell at the top and the front like this, and that's it. Didn't even have any windows. It had something like this in the back. That was it for just, you know, just different windows, but everything else looks the same, and it pretty much looks exactly like this. The only difference is these weren't here. I added these because I didn't want to make it too boring on the sides, because it literally was a rectangle, and that was my only reference I think I did throughout the whole thing, obviously for the castle too. But I really like this, and it actually does have a working this does work. It's pretty cool. One of my favorite things. It has a working bell and everything. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah, almost everything is the same from the concept art and everything. Yeah, there's a lag a little bit there. Anyways, out of all the buildings, I think this might be my favorite one. This pub or this pub. So there's a pub over here. Oh my goodness, the lag. The pub right here. This pub right here. This one's a gorgeous one. I don't know if I showed it in the intro. This also has some living quarters and stuff. We got some beautiful beds with some shoes and stuff in here. It looks really damn good. I cannot wait to see how their RP is gonna work in the server for this, and I'm so blown away how this is gonna work. This is like an RP heaven. I'm not gonna lie. This is so cool. I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do for it. But anyways, let's get to the castle now real quick, because I just wanted to talk a little bit of that. We're already at 5 minutes of talking, so let's go to the castle. All right, so here's the castle. Obviously, like I was saying in the video, it's kind of cathedral style. I'm very oh yeah, ignore that. That's Rockwell and stuff noises. They have S+. I know, S+, God forbid. But you can use sound effects and stuff for the freaking taxidermies. But anyways, yeah, I'm very liking this detail. Now, see, this is what I was talking about with the problem with the roofing, right? So the different roof parts is that it's connecting in between this areas right here. So what you have is that this piece is a lot higher and taller and everything, right? And it kind of flows. This entire section is kind of like that. But with the roof itself, it just sticks out a little bit. And then you have all these different connecting pieces. It's actually kind of crazy, like how all these different connecting pieces and how everything works and everything. It's just mind-boggling. Now, things I would have changed, like I said, I would have made this back area. I would have added another area down around town, down here. And probably even expanded on this, but that was over my you know, the contract for what I was going to be doing, so that would have been way too much extra work, but it is what it is, and it looks really good though. Really liking this, really liking that, and it just looks super simple. The other thing I would have changed is also is the inside. So I told you guys there is a maze. I probably wouldn't have done the maze. The maze is actually here, and it's a secret little entrance way, which is a door right here. Where is it? Right, I'm like going so damn fast. It's like right here. Yeah, and you drop down and it goes into a maze. It's a really long maze too, and it actually is really cool. It's multi-leveled and everything. It's really cool, but it fits this whole entire area inside this whole castle. But anyways, yeah, no regrets for anything in here. This is one of my favorite pieces right here, is this roof. Like I said, this roof is so cool. I love this. And then here you can see the inside of it, how it looks in the inside. So it looks pretty cool. It looks really cool. It's complicated as hell, but you know, it works. I mean, everything is set up, and then you also have this. Now obviously there is open area right here that we could have built stuff in here, but like I said, I'm gonna be real, trying to place any more blocks in here was almost impossible. It's so laggy. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell in the stream with OBS, because I'm dropping frames everywhere trying to record this, but when you're not recording, it's fine. I don't know, maybe I have a memory leak with ARK, but anyways, yeah, that's the castle, and you know, that's kind of the build. So I want to make sure, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Like I said, I know I don't do that many build videos, but hopefully I can get back into that a little bit here and there. I do have some stuff planned for Fjord, so make sure you check that out. And also make sure you check out the official trailer when that comes out for Fjord. And also make sure you check out the official trailer for Lost Isles, because I helped with it, just like everything else. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like and smash that like button, you know, help, you know, and share the video. I appreciate it. If you want to see the trailer, top right, we'll see you in the next one.